What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Own the Hunt. Got an exciting one for you guys today. Gonna be doing a full review on the new RIX Leap L6. Stick around. Alrighty guys, well, we are down here in the studio. Like I mentioned, we are going to be doing a full review on the RIX Leap L6. This scope is impressive, you guys. I'm going to start with a bang on this one. Price on this guy is $37.99. It's a 640 core resolution thermal scope. You're going to be hard pressed to find a 640 scope that can stack up against this for the money. The image quality on this scope is incredible, and you're not going to be sorry if you go with one of these. Before I get too far into this review, you guys, I want to give a huge shout out to Fall River Shooters. Logan is going to be selling these RIX Leap L6s, so he is a dealer for them now, and if you want to purchase one of these, reach out to him. I'm going to be putting a link in the description down below in the video. If you want to purchase one of these scopes, use that link. You'll get some free Own the Hunt swag, including a hat. So don't miss out on that, you guys. And then secondly, I want to thank Southern Precision Outdoors for providing me with some of the footage you're going to see at the end of this video, you guys. I wasn't able to capture actual hunting footage with this scope because it is outside of my night season for coyote hunting here in Maine, which is a bummer, but I did go out, put this scope to the test. Was able to find tons of deer, cows, and a lot of cool things. I even ran into a few coyotes that I couldn't kill, but that's the nature of the beast. So anyway, you guys, thank you, Southern Precision Outdoors, for providing me with some of the video footage that I'm going to be putting at the end of this video. I would encourage you guys to stick around and listen to this entire review. I have a lot to say about this scope, and if you just came for the footage, that's going to be towards the end. You can go ahead and skip if you want, but I have a lot to say about this scope. So first off, I thank RIX for sending this along. I've had the pleasure of testing this scope for the past 3 weeks, and I can tell you it's an absolute pleasure. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you guys what some of the specs are on this scope, kind of high level. You guys can obviously go out and research some of your own specs, but like I said, the scope retails for $37.99. It's a 640 core resolution, has a 12 micron sensor in it, and it's a sub 25 millikelvin NETD rating. So what does that mean? Well, nowadays the NETD ratings are getting pushed to the absolute max. Every thermal scope manufacturer seems to be trying to find a way to lower that number each and every day. And so what that is it's the scope's ability to differentiate heat differences. It's a sensitivity number. And so the lower the number, the better. Typically, what we're seeing is anything below 25s, sub 25 millikelvin seems to be performing really well in fog, high humidity environments, and I can tell you that this scope is no slouch. I went out one night, it was very humid, lots of fog. No issues at all. This scope performed incredibly well. I had no problem seeing deer well beyond 100, well beyond 200 yards. So no worries there. Your guys are going to be just fine in a high humidity environment. We kind of have one of the worst high humidity environments here in Maine and the Northeast. We get warm days, cold evenings, creates a lot of fog, a lot of moisture in the air, and so this is a great environment for us to test these scopes against some of those conditions, and this performed really well, you guys. This scope has a 1920 by 1080 resolution OLED display, so when you look through the scope, you're going to get a super crisp image. It's IP67 waterproof, 2.8 magnification, all the way out to 8.4 magnification on the optical zoom. And I guess while we're talking about optical zoom, I'll kind of touch on that. This scope is the first scope to have optical magnification in the thermal industry, and I got to tell you guys, it really is, I hate to use the word game changer, but it really is a game changer. Being able to take this dial right here and zoom in on your target is pretty incredible without a loss of clarity. Obviously, you're going to get a slight degradation because what you're doing is you're magnifying the actual screen you're looking at, and so what you're doing there is you're basically able to really get close to that screen with the optical magnification, and then you can see any little imperfections in that. So the pixels obviously become more visible. It isn't a loss really in clarity, it's just that you can see more of that screen and you can see more of the detail. And so it's far better than digital magnification. I can assure you that. I used it. It is impressive. It works extremely well. It's fast, easy to get on your target. So love that feature. It's touting a 2,600 yard detection range, and I can tell you that that is not a joke. I was able to spot heat way beyond 2,000 yards. I was really impressed with this scope as far as its ability to detect. I'm gonna say your identification ranges on a deer-like target are gonna be out to 400 or so yards. This thing is really capable, especially when you use that optical magnification. It's very good. 32 gigabyte built-in storage, so recording your videos is gonna be no problem. You'll be able to record all night hunts if you want. While we're talking about recording videos, this thing has recoil activated video recording, so you take that shot, it'll go back in time and grab that footage from moments before your shot all the way to your shot and a little bit after, and give you a nice video clip for that. Operating temps are -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. You guys, that's pretty awesome. I think that's right there with the industry leading operating temperatures. There shouldn't really be any situations you can't hunt with this scope, so big kudos there. This scope weighs 2.6 pounds. It is kind of a beast, all right? This thing is kind of hefty. It is definitely not compact. It is not lightweight, but it is what it is. It's right up there with all of the Pulsar Thermions as far as size and weight. It is featuring audio and video recording like I mentioned before, and so that's gonna do it on the specs, you guys. Let's go ahead and talk about the pros on this scope, things that I really enjoy about it. Obviously the optical magnification, you guys, that's going to be my first pro. Being able to throw this throw lever out right here and magnify the scope just by twisting that dial is extremely beneficial, you guys. I can't tell you how many times I've been fiddling with the button on my Pulsar trying to magnify, and you know, it kind of takes you away from the game, right? It's so nice to be able to take this scope, use your throw lever, zoom in, zoom out. You can keep your hand on the grip of your weapon platform, your finger in the trigger well, or off the trigger, whatever it may be, but it keeps you in the game, being able to just do that quick and easy. It's super nice. But the scope also features digital magnification as well, so all you got to do for digital mag is go ahead and turn this side turret, and it will magnify your scope in like tenths of a magnification step. So that's really nice. It's really smooth, works nice. While we're talking about these rings, these turrets, they're extremely smooth, very tactile. They work really nice. They have just the right amount of resistance on them to be very comfortable and smooth. I know some people have complained about using them and going beyond kind of the choice in the menu that they wanted to click on. That sort of does happen. You do get used to it. It really is a feel kind of thing, and as you use the scope, you just kind of learn, okay, if I turn it this much, it's going to go to the choice in the menu that I want. I could see how when you first are using the scope, you may go by the option that you want in the menu, but I used this scope for probably 10 minutes and was easily able to navigate the menus no problem. Other pros: smooth focus rings, smooth magnification ring. So this ring up here is going to be your front focal ring. This is extremely smooth. It works just so nice. Doesn't make sound. It's not gritty, and it just is a pleasure to use. Now, the image clarity on this scope, I'm going to give that as a huge pro. Guys, this is a 640 scope, so you would expect good image clarity. It is definitely up there with some of the better 640 scopes I've looked through. I will say, it's probably not going to be your top dog 640 image, okay? I know there's some scopes on the market that are really putting out quite an impressive image for 640, but what I will tell you is it's extremely good, and I'm going to kind of compare it against the Pulsar Thermion XG52, not the original XG50, but the new XG50, and it's a better image, you guys. It's clearer, it's sharper. I'm able to identify more easily. So I'm really impressed with that. The fact that it's able to put out such a good image stacked up against some of the top dog scopes out there. The other pros I've got, like I said, super good in fog and humidity. The recoil activated video is a massive pro. Construction quality, you guys. So this thing is built like an absolute tank. The fit and finish on this is just great. It's extremely smooth. It's very, very rugged feeling, well built. Nothing on this scope feels cheap. Nothing on the scope feels like it's gonna break or, you know, be a problem. The rear diopter focus is extremely smooth. It has no grit, no play. I mentioned that in my first impressions video, you guys. I just was super, super impressed with the overall build quality of this scope for the price point. I'm just really kind of blown away there. Another pro is the warranty for these. So the warranty on these scopes is 5 years on the thermal scope itself, and they're touting a 10-day turnaround time for repairs, you guys. That is pretty impressive. That means you send your scope to RIX and within 10 days you have a scope back. That's impressive. They're either gonna fix your scope or they're gonna look at it and say, nope, this isn't worth fixing, and they're gonna send you a brand new one. So big props to RIX. I mean, new company, new scope. That means they really stand behind this product, and I gotta say, that is a huge statement for them to be offering that. So nice job, RIX. Next pro, battery life. So 18650 batteries, you guys. This scope runs on 18650s. I'm gonna show you real quick. This is how you put them in. This side door here on this turret. Throw your 18650 in there, close it up, push the lever down, and then push the lever all the way up. Really, really, really love that this scope runs on 18650s, you guys. Some people are gonna wonder, do the batteries that come with it, are they the only ones that will work with it? No, I've tested a handful of 18650 batteries that I had at the house, both flat top and button top. They all work. The scope powers on, it seems to run just fine. I shook the scope a lot to simulate some recoil and things like that. No shut-offs, no issues whatsoever. So I'd say, you know, kind of whatever you have, if you got some 18650s kicking around, those will work too. The scope does ship with 2 of them, so that's nice, and it also ships with the charger. This is the charger that the scope ships with, you guys. A very nice kind of smart charger. It charges both of your batteries and works super nice. So big props there, including that. I will say one of the cons about this scope is it doesn't charge through this port here. So this is going to be your data transfer port, and it's also a way to power the scope with external power, but you can't charge the 18650s through that port, which is kind of a bummer. Most scopes on the market, you can actually charge the batteries that are in them through their port, their charge port or their power port. RIX specifically designed this so it can't do that. They don't know what you're gonna throw in here for batteries. They don't wanna cause any issues. So basically they made it so it's not a two-way power, so it can't go through and charge that 18650 battery. Not a big deal, and in my opinion, it might have been a smart engineering decision to block that so that they don't run into issues with power. This scope ships with these rings, guys. These are 2 individual rings made for Picatinny rail. They are nothing special. I will tell you that. They're nothing special. In fact, they seem kind of cheesy in my opinion, but they come with the scope, and that is huge. So next is the app support. So this scope has app support. You can download the RIX app on your phone and pair it with it over the scope's Wi-Fi. Guys, I know that that's super like rudimentary at this point. Every scope that we buy now is coming with app support. It's just nice that RIX developed that. It works. It's very nice. The app is easy to use. You can upgrade your firmware on the scope over the app, so it's super easy. You go into the app, you go to menu, you check for updates for firmware, and you can push an update to your scope, and that's super slick. That means RIX can put out firmware upgrades kind of whenever they feel like it, and you can go and push them to your scope. So that's really nice. Let's get into some of the cons on this scope, you guys. I don't have a lot of them, but just some things I want to talk about. The number 1 con I have with this scope is the audio recording is just not good, okay? I struggled with it from day one. I recorded a nice video and the audio is just terrible. It sounds like you're in a hallway or like a big concert hall. It just echoes back into the scope. I'm not really sure what the issue is. I have talked to RIX about it. They are working on a firmware update on it. They still haven't come out with that yet, but it's nice to know that they are, you know, acknowledging that, hey, the audio isn't as good as it could be, and we're going to work on a fix. So love that. I love that they're working on it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get fixed. I don't know what that means from an engineering standpoint, but it could have to do with the placement of the microphone. The microphone's located right here, kind of in this charge port area. It could have to do with the placement of the microphone. I'm not sure. It could have to do with just the acoustics of how the sound is getting into the scope and then getting to the microphone. Lots of variables when it comes to audio. So I don't know if they're going to be able to fix it, but that's really my biggest con with this. The video output could be slightly better. I see a lot of loss as far as what you're seeing in the scope and then what you're outputting for a video file. Man, it doesn't do this scope justice. So people that are watching the videos that are being put out and trying to decide if the scope is for them, all I can tell you is until you look through one of these, you're not going to appreciate the scope. The video quality is probably, I would say, 60% of what you're seeing through the scope. So if that tells you anything right there, I don't think they can improve it drastically, but just know that if you're looking through this scope, you're going to be very impressed if you like the video quality. Another con on this scope is obviously the weight and size of it. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, this is a big scope. It's heavy. It's not compact, but I don't really care. I mount these scopes on rifles that are run on tripods, and I'm not really running these scopes for their lightweightness or their compactness. I'm running them for, you know, their performance, and this scope performs, and so I don't really care. I just mentioned it as a con because it kind of is. I mean, if you think about it, everything nowadays, everybody wants lighter, smaller, faster, and this is definitely not that. So I'll put it as a con. No big deal to me, but to some people it could be a really big issue. And then lastly, the last con that I have on this scope is the battery door design. So when we're hunting, obviously we may have to make a battery swap in the field, and the issue I have with this is that the battery is deep into the scope and it doesn't allow you to grab it with your fingers and pull it out, and it's on the side of the scope, so you're gonna have to do some sort of a tip motion to get that battery to come out, and I just see that as a potential, I guess, issue in the field. It's not a terrible deal, it's just like I wish it was a little bit more pronounced so you could grab it with your fingers and pull it out, or something like that, or maybe in the top and the cap kind of could, you know, come open more and you could grab it from the top. But anyway, that's just like nitpicking the scope, really small little things from an engineering standpoint, so nothing really to be concerned of there. So let's kind of get into what you get with the scope when you get it. The scope comes in a really nice bag. This is a kind of a leatherish, vinyl leather type bag. It has nice security straps to go ahead and clip the bag up. Works really nice. I like the bag quite a lot. If you were traveling or something, it would be really nice to take it and kind of throw it in the bag. In the bag, you're gonna get a data transfer cord, and it also will work with your charger to charge it. You're gonna get a lens cleaning cloth. You're gonna get 5 thermal activated targets. So these make it super slick to sight your rifle in. Not many, or if any, scopes that I know of on the market are coming with those. And you're gonna get 2 18650 batteries with the flat top. These are really nice batteries. I don't know what the brand these ones are. They don't seem to have a brand on them. And actually, yes, they do. These are Samsung batteries. So these are super nice batteries, you guys. And you're probably gonna have really great luck with them as far as charge cycles and things like that. The scope's getting 8 hours on a single one of these. And that is pretty much it, you guys. It does come with a rubber eye cap. You guys know I'm not a big fan of these eye caps, but I did run the scope with this eye cap. and I was really impressed with it. It kind of snaps onto the scope. It doesn't use magnetic kind of form fit like the Pulsars do, but it snaps onto the scope and it does a pretty good job. It's definitely able to be pulled off pretty easily. So like if you snagged it on something, it definitely would come off. I don't know that that's a con per se. It's just kind of something that I noticed. It doesn't really fit the scope as far as like snapping into anything, so it really can just kind of come off easily. I'm probably not going to run it on this scope just because I don't want to lose it, but it's a nice eye cap and it works really well. All right guys, well that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts on the RIX Leap L6. I really like the scope, and I have to tell you guys, I like it enough that I actually bought it. I had the scope for 3 weeks. RIX reached out, said, hey, it's time to send the scope back. What do you want to do? And I actually asked him if I could purchase the scope. I was that impressed with it that I think I'm going to be running it this season. I'm not 100% certain. There's a couple scopes that are going to be coming out and coming into my hands to test within the next couple of months that I'm pretty excited about trying. But right now, I'm really impressed with this L6. I think I'm going to be running it. Unless something else really jumps out at me. I love the base magnification. I love the optical magnification. So for those reasons alone, I'm really loving it. I'm going to probably record my audio externally because that's kind of a big deal for me. It's really almost a deal breaker, to be honest. But I'll probably be recording my audio externally for my YouTube videos. Other than that, guys, I love this scope. Don't have much bad to say about it, and I think RIX has a winner. So I'm going to cut to the footage, you guys, let you guys see what it looks like, and just know that not all of this footage is stuff that I recorded. Some of it was recorded and provided to me by Southern Precision Outdoors, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video. So be that as it may, enjoy the video footage, and if you'd like to purchase a RIX Leap L6, reach out to Logan at Fall River Shooters. And until next time on the Hunt, guys, we'll see you later.
Yeah.
God damn, bro. Alright guys, so this is a deer about 100 yards away-ish. Checking the audio quality as well. Let's see if she likes it when I make kissy sounds to her. those 4 down there are a ways away.